What's good, everybody? I'm actually in the East Coast right now on business, so I have not been rolling out a lot of videos, man, and I've been slow, so I do apologize on that. But a lot of people keep asking me about this whole Libertarian Party thing. Apparently, the Mises Caucus attempted to get Ron Paul as well as Judge Knapp to speak at the Libertarian National Convention. If I'm not mistaken, that's the particular gig that they're trying to get them at, and they were declined in their efforts. And a lot of people are up in arms because, people consider Ron Paul like you can't get a better speaker, right? People consider Ron Paul the OG of the libertarian movement. So I understand people's frustration. And there are individuals within the Libertarian Party that want nothing to do with Ron Paul for different reasons. I think a lot of that comes from animosity because we haven't had like a single individual that we can really point to that's had as much success as far as influence. I'm not talking about winning office or anything like that. I'm talking about influencing a generation of people to really adopt libertarianism. That has been nobody's been able to replicate that. So, and yes, he did it as a member of the Republican Party, and I think that frustrates a lot of people because you see, and sometimes unfairly, don't get it twisted, people always go back to Ron Paul, say, oh, well, Ron Paul did this, Ron Paul did that. Now, I guess, Libertarian Party members, some of them are sick of saying it, like, oh, Ron Paul doesn't have, monopoly on libertarian movement. No, he doesn't. But I don't think that's a legitimate reason to try to alienate him from speaking to other libertarians that definitely were influenced to be libertarians by him. Now, I do understand that, if I'm not mistaken, people that have power to really make something like this happen have different reasons as to why they would do something like that. So I don't want to make it seem as if this is some sort of collective, everybody has this is the reason why they don't want Ron Paul there. It's not like that. People have different reasons, but the one that I've seen dominating for a lot of people is that the fact that he was a Republican for the most part of his congressional career. For all part of his congressional career, he ran for president on the Libertarian Party, I believe, in '88 or whatever. But people know him as being a member of the House of Representatives as a Republican. And that doesn't sit well with a lot of individuals because, for one, it goes against the narrative of you can have somebody that's using one of the major parties to really spread libertarianism. That doesn't sit well with a lot of people, but obviously people want to get rid of their duopoly. So they are going to obviously have a problem with somebody running as a member of the Republican Party. Now, apparently they threw all of that out the window with Gary Johnson as well as Bill Weld, but nonetheless, here we are. Now, the only thing I don't care about too much, that's why I don't know too much of the details, because I don't essentially care that much. I'm not a member of the Libertarian Party. I don't speak for the Libertarian Party by any means, and I have no intentions of really joining the Libertarian Party or any party. I don't participate in politics like that. I'm a non-voter at this point in time in my life, not because I'm one of those, oh, voting is violence. That's just not my thing. I'm a musician, and I like to use culture and stuff like that to really influence people, not politics. I think politics is a lagging indicator. However, I know there are people that want to utilize politics to really get this word out, kind of like, again, Ron Paul was able to successfully do. No matter how his success is seen as a member of Congress, we recognize the fact that he used the platform that was given to him by being a member of the Republican Party, definitely running for president of the Republican Party. That you saw what that got him. It gave him a platform to be able to really get some of these ideas out to a lot of people that otherwise would not have been able to hear. And I do want to say, however, there are individuals that are saying that, hey, he was a Republican, want no part of that. Completely understandable. However, I will say that you got to be careful with that because, definitely if the idea, and this is just from an advice tip, if the idea is that you want to bring more people to your organization, to your party, trying to alienate people that are being members of other parties and stuff like that might not be, definitely if you agree with them in principle on a lot of situations and a lot of concepts and ideas and stuff, it's not a good idea. Because take for the Republican Party, for example, who knows that I disagree with largely their entire platform. They have I mean, hell, paid out of pocket when you talk about like college Republicans and members, and at a Republican Party, local Republican parties, chapters and stuff like that, paying to have me speak at gigs. And I'm speaking about libertarianism, hell, anarchism in some senses, in a lot of senses, which they obviously they're the same thing as far as I'm concerned. But even after knowing where I stand, obviously I'm against them on their efforts on a lot of these Republicans and their efforts on the war on drugs and the wars in general, and using the state to be in people's bedrooms and stuff like that. They know that I'm going to likely say something that it goes against the grain of what they try to put forth in a lot of senses. But and big shout out to the Republican Liberty Caucus. A lot of those guys have no problem with me. Actually, a lot of those guys think highly of me, even though, again, I've never voted for a Republican in my life. I'm not even at that stage in my life. Like I said, I don't do the politics thing. And the same as, can be said for largely dominating, like I said, Democrat affiliates spoken at those gigs as well. And I'm not an exception or anything like that. There's numerous people that are either, identifying as opposite parties, identifying as independents, identifying as kind of non-political sorts of individuals that are speaking at gigs being ran by Democrat Republicans and their organizations. So I just want y'all to keep that in mind. I do understand that, and that goes for the major parties as well. They are going to favor having their own individuals speak there. As far as their own representatives of the Libertarian Party, of the Republican Party, of the Democratic Party. That's the point of a party. You know what I mean? You want to advance your party, so obviously you're going to get big names that if you can speak at your gigs that are members of your party. But like I say, just be careful with that, and that's really just all of my advice for the folks that are out there, no matter what side you are on this issue. But this is partially why I'm not involved in politics. You know what I mean? I ain't got time for none of this type of drama where people are because somebody is affiliated with another party, they just absolutely refuse to have them come speak in front of people, definitely when they agree on 99% in principle. Hell, largely your crowd is going to have members that were brought into the party by this man. And that's the reason. If that's the reason, granted, there might be other reasons and cool, but if that's your reason, you got to be careful with that. And hopefully that's not something that libertarians are trying to just have across the board, because all you're doing at that point, you're just creating a really this sort of circle jerk. And it's unfortunate. So just keep that in mind. That's all I'm going to really say on the issue. I'm not going to get too much into it because, like I said, I'm not a member of the Republican Party, Democratic Party, Libertarian Party, any party. I don't do the politics thing. So that's all I'm saying. So with that being said, y'all be easy. Hopefully we get some more videos coming in the upcoming weeks, man.